Mm-hmm.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 115 of the Shadow Kvlt.
115.
In other words,
what Ricky said. Yes.
That's what she said.
Es lo que dijo ella. O lo que dijo él. No juzgo. Cada quien su preferencia.
I got supreme.
This is the way we stir the clock, stir the clock, stir the clock. Ole!
Anyway, what are we talking about tonight? I don't know. We just got
So we... I don't know.
Anal.
What are we talking about, nerds? Actually.
Get yourself a pair of glasses and do it right.
Yes. We are talking about the worst wrestler of all time in the world, Goldberg.
Bill Goldberg. Yes.
Greenberg. All he does is hurt people and has horrible matches.
I would like to talk about the fact that we have a man who does not deserve the accolades he gets online. I think that you would be better off talking about somebody who is way more better than him, and that would be Randy Mulkey. I think Mulkey Mania is running wild every single day, better than Goldberg ever could. Okay? Thank you very much. I have to go now.
Somebody clip that. Somebody clip that, please.
That's going to be in the best of 2022.
What happened?
I missed something.
Perfect Groucho Marx. I think
Hey, let me tell you something, pal.
Anyway,
I got offended by pants. I haven't gotten my underwear.
Anyway, Goldberg and WCW, everybody.
Yes. So this episode came about as when we were discussing, what to talk about for September, and brought up the September 22nd, 97 episode of Raw. So we figured, we can't do that without talking about Goldberg, since he debuted that night on Nitro. So why not talk about Goldberg and WCW from 1997 through 2001?
Yes.
So
remember the 21st night of September. Wrestling was changed, the mind of pretenders. Goldberg was chasing the clouds away.
Figured before we begin about Goldberg and his time in WCW, why don't we talk I'll bring up a little bit about Jesus Christ and Mama Bear just dropping the obsolete on all of us. Obsolete!
Yeah.
But anyways, so... Deletion! Anyways,
Wonderful!
One more quick side note. Look who I got from the man on the cover.
Oh, nice.
He sent me this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, look, you see who wrote it, Scott, right?
I know who wrote it. Yeah, I know who wrote it.
And Kenny had to get Sabu's permission to give me the book. I'm pretty sure Sabu.
Yep.
I don't fucking care. Give him the book.
Don't fucking care. Give it to him.
So
Where's
before... Just don't get pulled over in Hanging Rock, Ohio, you idiot.
Kenny said, he's not gonna sign it though. That's for Marks. But I opened up the thing, and lo and behold,
there you go. Are you sure that's him? And Kenny didn't do that as a red.
Yeah, they both signed it.
Fire me, you fucking Mark.
Anyway, so Goldberg before pro wrestling, he was football all the way through. Even didn't he play for the Falcons for a while?
He did.
Yeah,
a little bit.
He
played
Falcons.
pretty much. He bounced around from the NFL, the World League, the CFL, and then his career ended.
Yeah, and after his career ended, Bill thought, what the hell am I going to do for the rest of my life? And I've been gonged. Undertaker's coming to get me.
Oh, shit. You better run.
As Jim Ross put it, Oklahoma boy, Georgia State University, Pro Bowler, prime athlete. And then Vince says, God damn. And then JR says, God damn.
God damn.
God damn, motherfucker.
But So eventually, as time went on, Goldberg went into the world of pro wrestling, starting out at the Power Plant, the world famous Power Plant.
He was convinced by Lex Luger and Sting to join pro wrestling because he looked like a pro wrestler.
He really did, even though he wasn't a fan of the business.
He wasn't a fan. Didn't like his love was football, but it's like
I hated wrestling. I thought it was stupid and fake.
But if I can't do football, this is kind of the next big thing. The next thing could do.
Yeah.
And he was trained in the power plant. He did some dark matches at first in June and July. He both competed as Bill Goldberg and Bill Gold.
Right. And he did lose
to Chad Fortune.
Yep. So.
And
but that was on
whoa.
that was like you said, that was dark matches, and it was on Saturday night and stuff like that. So it wasn't technically on Nitro. So.
Also lost to Hector Guerrero, I believe.
There's probably several that they're not going to make notice to. But as Kevin Sullivan said, I made sure everyone forgot about those losses.
Yeah, all of them were dark matches, so nobody really saw them unless you were there.
Right.
Contrary to popular belief, although some people said this, no, he was not part of. Remember Piper's team at Uncensored?
Yeah, he looked like one of them, but it was it looked like him, but it wasn't him.
Right. Yeah. Imagine if they ran with that. What a shit show that would have been.
Oh my God, forget
it. Arn Anderson burying John Tenta. It's like, yeah, this is for professionals, and you guys aren't professionals, and Tenta went fucking ape shit.
Mm-hmm.
Pissed John Tenta off.
I knew.
What do you mean? We're not professionals! He just called them unprofessional, baby!
So then we fast forward to September 22nd, 1997, Monday Nitro. We get Goldberg's televised debut against who, James?
Hugh Morris. Hugh Morris got the entrance. Goldberg was just standing there. It's like, oh, Hugh Morris facing this newcomer, Bill Goldberg. It's like, you expect Hugh Morris to beat this guy in some sort of semi-competitive match, but no. 2 minutes, 43 seconds later, jackhammer, and Goldberg gets the upset win.
That's one. And Sullivan specifically chose Hugh Morris to be the guy because he knew he could trust Bill DeMott to get the job done and get Goldberg over.
Everyone's attention's perked when, did Morris miss the moonsault or Goldberg kicked out of it?
He kicked out of it.
Kicked out.
Because it's like, when Hugh Morris hit No Laughing Matter, it was usually 1, 2, 3.
Right, and that when he kicked out, all of a sudden it was like, wait a minute, something's going to happen here.
Something's up here. Yep.
Something went wrong in the Matrix.
And then Gene wanted an interview, and Goldberg said nothing.
Which made even more interest about him. So.
Perfect debut, honestly.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Wonderfully done. Masterfully done.
Indeed.
Check out these pecs. They're rock hard.
Told you it'd walk. I told you.
Told you, brother. It worked.
And then pretty much over the next couple of months, just continuing to do more or less the same. Just go after undercard guys or lower mid-card guys.
Brad Armstrong, Perry Saturn. Just working with
Mongo was his first feud.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
Because it was all over a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah, prior to that, it was like Dungeon of Doom guys, guys lower on the card, luchadors, things like that.
And beating them in 2 or less minutes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, and Bischoff said that on one of the DVDs. It's like, we figured out what worked. We have Bill come out, he breathe fire, he kick you, he hit you, he spear you, he jackhammer you, and be back in the locker room in 8 minutes, and the crowd be on their fucking feet.
And it worked.
And it worked.
And it worked. It kind of fucking worked.
Mm-hmm.
We were there. Don't let the naysayers fool you. You people were fucking over for Goldberg. Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were throwing fucking babies at him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, be my baby daddy, Goldberg.
Put a baby in me, Goldberg.
My mommy said babies come from caves, and it's true. And I can throw them. 100-point question. What's that from?
I don't remember. It's just funny to hear.
Tom
Green. Okay, that's outside my realm of knowledge there.
But Goldberg's first program with Mongo culminated at Starrcade, with Goldberg getting up to that point the biggest win of his career, which, yeah, it's Mongo, but it's still former U.S. champion, former horseman. It's like there was some credibility to that.
Yeah.
He was still a horseman at that point.
I think the horseman had broken up by that point, but regardless,
Right.
it was still former U.S. champion.
Yeah, that's a
So
pretty
it's somebody
big
with
deal.
some credibility, and it was smart at the time. It was good TV. It was building him slowly. It wasn't like smashing him over, like he showed up and a month later he's wrestling for the world title. It's okay, we got something. Let's milk this shit.
He
went
down our throats, pretty much.
It's like the lower card, the jobbers, the J-Brones, and you're starting to go up the card with him. And as time goes on, he's Bill Goldberg at first, and then they just drop the Bill, and he's Goldberg. And then eventually they start adding a number to his win. Yes. At first, it's like there wasn't anything, but started as time went on, started just going through opponent after opponent after opponent. We get the Regal match at the start in February of '98.
Which pretty much we might as well move on to that, since January, basically same deal, squashing guys in 2 minutes or less. But then we get to the Regal match.
Oh boy.
And this is the match that Regal wants to have Bill Goldberg on his podcast so they can talk about it, because what Regal says happens, and is it depends upon, he won't say the name of the agent of the match, Anderson, but it's something that they need to address, the two of them, because Bill possibly still has some kind of chip on his shoulder over it. Regal is like, I was told to do this kind of match, and then afterward the agent is totally contrarian to what Regal says, like, no, I didn't say he could do that. So that's where, like, Regal's like, let's just fucking squash this. It's been 25 fucking years. Can we get over this, please?
It was like, you watch that match back compared to what he was doing beforehand, there was something a little different about this match.
Yeah. The fact that it went longer than it should be.
It was like a 5-minute match, but it was long. It was the longest match he had up to that point.
It was almost was a right, and yeah, at the time you're just like, okay, Regal's tough. He can hang with Goldberg for twice as long as they. That's all you'd see as a fan, But also later on, you see through different eyes, he's kind of exposing Goldberg with certain aspects of what he can do in the ring. However, it's complete antithesis of what you want to see him do in the ring. You didn't want to fucking see him do arm drags and do all the fucking chain wrestling that Regal didn't do. I didn't want to fucking see that from Goldberg.
No, I wanted the spear and the jackhammer.
Spear and the jackhammer. So
yeah, exactly. I wanted to see fucking rip him in half, not have a technical match, even though Regal kind of humiliated him, because it did humiliate him.
Zani would literally explode whenever Goldberg hit that spear. Orgasmic.
Yep.
Orgasmatron.
Goldberg was also having these sort of semi-MMA matches with Jerry Flynn.
Oh yeah,
that's Flynn.
Flynn, not Lynn.
Goldberg also would add like an MMA twist to his repertoire. One of the first guys in WCW and WWE, aside from Shamrock, obviously, that would do that.
Yep. Yeah, but that was getting over too. So now we're going to add another layer to him there, because he just which match did he fucking do that standing backflip for some?
That was the first one.
Was it that
was the match against Morris?
Just like he even says that, no, I do this stupid backflip for some reason. It's like, okay, you can do it.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
But then he has a little bit of a run against the Flock. Where he faces Saturn at Spring Stampede, beats him next night against Raven for the U.S. title.
Raven just won the U.S. title the night before as well. So.
Yeah.
And then he hits that first spear, the crowd goes fucking apeshit.
Yeah. And on that night, Goldberg wins his first championship in the company, winning the United States Heavyweight title against Raven, who, say what you will about Raven's time in WCW, but up to this point, he was a big name up to this point, working with guys like DDP and Benoit just in the prior couple of months.
So, this is for a guy who actually left DCW and jumped ship and At the beginning, it was like a rocking up his ass, but then,
Then it was really after. It was really after the
Goldberg
Goldberg
backstage shit.
And it was really after losing the belt to Goldberg where Raven's stock started gradually going down.
There really wasn't much that they could do with him. He was not going to be in the main event.
His mom came in and took him back.
Right? Yes.
I mean, the only
Cassidy.
Yeah, to hang out with his friend.
Jim. Yeah.
I mean,
the only flip in the pool. Don't do a flip. It makes no sense. I'm going to do a flip in the pool. It's going to be great.
Talk to your mom like that, Scotty.
I mean, the only glimmer of hope Raven had in the rest of his WCW run was that tag run with he and Saturn against Benoit and Malenko in '99, but that was it. But we're not talking Raven. We're talking Goldberg.
But it's like once he won the U.S. title, he was starting to beat bigger names in the company. He beat Conan at Great American Bash. I was looking up results on Cage Match. He beat Sting in under a minute on a house show.
Oh,
yeah.
show? Okay.
I didn't know that.
I didn't even know that either. I'm like, what? He beat him in like 58 seconds. Like,
that's
what
the other thing, too, to bring up is, yes, the streak's numbers were inflated.
Oh, yeah.
Because I did the numbers. It was roughly about 160. But does it really matter?
It doesn't really matter. I mean, but they were saying, like, even like Nash and Jericho, like 1 week he'd be like, 13-0, and then the next week he's like 52-0. Like, does stepping on bugs count? What the fuck? How do you get to that number so fast?
The actual numbers are roughly 160, give or take.
Close enough.
Which is close enough to the actual number, which we'll get to, but still.
Because after all, people have to take house show matches into consideration too.
House shows and Saturday nights and all that stuff.
Thunder.
But But it's like going through opponent after opponent after opponent until finally they're going to the Georgia Dome for Nitro in early July, and they're like, 6th. Let's do it. Let's have him versus Hogan, the biggest match we could possibly do. And
let's put it out free on television.
Okay, to be fair, more people saw it than they would have seen it on pay-per-view.
Yeah. Yeah. Which looking back on that, so to rewind a little bit, so we go to the prior Thunder where JJ
4 nights earlier.
4 nights early on the prior Thunder coming out and announcing that at the Georgia Dome, Hollywood Hogan will defend the belt against who he saw as the number 1 contender, Goldberg, and the crowd at Thunder goes absolutely apeshit.
And that's where Goldberg found out. He had no clue until the announcement. It's like, okay.
Because behind the scenes, Hogan and company, where they were like, this guy is getting fucking white hot. Let's put the belt on him and see what happens. Because, Goldberg, you gotta think, if we're being real, Austin was the hottest thing in wrestling at this point, but Goldberg was right there with him.
Oh, yeah, he was right next to him.
Right there.
Yeah. And also helped the fact they were both bald. I don't know, maybe there's something
and both wore black trunks. And Goldberg was the copycat, as he said to Steve on the Broken Skull sessions.
Goldberg said, hell, I wanted to kill you. Me personally? Yeah, you motherfucker. Oh, great.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
SpongeBob SquarePants.
Get that shit off.
I didn't do that. Somebody redeemed a point, so it's going to be here for at least 60 seconds.
Ah, damn.
But first on that Georgia Dome Nitro, he defeats Scott Hall to retain the U.S. title.
Yes.
Then we get the main event of him and Hogan for the world title. Yeah, there was a little bit of interference, but regardless. Spear, jackhammer, and he's the world champion.
Toilet paper, yes.
I forgot about the toilet paper.
Just gets him up, toilet paper. What?
And what I think...
I can't unsee that. I'm sorry.
And I think some people forget, that was actually a very good match between the two.
Yeah, him and Hogan.
It was.
Yeah, still
one of the best Nitro matches of all time. Quite frankly, it's maybe the most memorable Nitro match because of...
I agree.
Yeah.
And just the moment of Bill holding up both belts, it's like he's the champion. You can debate whether they should have done it on pay-per-view or not, but more people saw it than they would have seen it paid, so...
Yeah.
It was the middle of the Monday Night War, so everybody had to do what they had to do.
Yeah, that's valid. Yep.
Like Mick's first title win was on TV.
TV.
Yep.
Mhm.
But then after he wins the world title, he
Vacates
starts
the
a
US
little bit of
title.
run against Kurt Hennig.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kurt Hennig at this point, injury riddled and going after the world championship for a brief time. And what was the biggest match that they had during this run?
Bash at the Beach. It was the pay-per-view right after, because initially it was supposed to be Goldberg and Kevin Green versus Giant and Hennig at that show, but then Goldberg won the world title, so they split the matches up. Giant and Kevin Green, and then Goldberg Kurt for the world title in the semi-main. And it was like less than 5 minutes or some shit, but...
I know who's doing this. Zach! You're back in the chat, but fucking shit.
But then...
My dad's a big Kurt Hennig fan. He goes, I don't like him. He did the Danny DeVito. I don't like him.
But then moving out of the stuff with Hennig, then we get to Road Wild, where initially it was an NWO Battle Royal with 4 members of Hollywood and 4 members of the Wolfpack. However, I guess behind the scenes they were like, well, our world champion doesn't have a match at this show. Why don't we throw him into the Battle Royal and make it a Road Wild Battle Royal? When also around the same time they were doing stuff with Goldberg and the Giant at the same time. So,
like, can Goldberg jackhammer the Giant? That was the big story.
Yeah, which, I mean, oh, great.
Oh, Jesus.
You guys are going nuts with these points redeems, but we'll take it.
But
Linguini's here.
Goldberg wins the Road Wild Battle Royal, and it kind of brings up a little problem about Goldberg's title reign. He didn't have the best opponents to work with.
No.
Nah. And really the only reason, apart from just one Goldberg on the show, was to continue the stuff with him and Giant. And granted, that fucking jackhammer on Giant, one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. And
Giant was 600 pounds at that point, or damn near close.
Damn near close to 600, and fucking lifted him up like nothing and didn't buckle, and then down he goes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was fucking insane. But yeah, Goldberg wins the Battle Royal. Now, we fast forward just a little bit, and then we get to the non-feud with Jericho. So
where the whole thing, Jericho calling out Goldberg, Greenberg, and I want to fight you, and Goldberg doesn't show up, so it's like Jericho 1, Greenberg 0, and keep on doing it. You get Fall Brawl, where it's going to be Jericho and Goldberg, title versus title, and it's Jericho versus the midget Goldberg, and Jericho wins. And the whole thing with this feud is Jericho didn't want to win the world title. He just wanted to work with one of the higher up guys. And Goldberg wanted nothing to do with it because it's like, oh, Jericho's beneath me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's so many different stories out there.
We're
like
already at that level of ego where he hasn't even been in the business for 2 years, and he's already having that notion.
It's ego, and then it's also people in the locker room who are shit disturbers in his ear. Dude, you shouldn't fucking work with Jericho.
Hall and Nash.
Why? Don't work with fucking Jericho, man. He's beneath you. You should.
Nash.
Hey, well, let's face it about Hall and Nash. Hall and Nash wanted Goldberg to make more money. Why?
So they could make more money.
Right.
Favored nations.
Yep. Favored nations, yes.
You can see Nash. I don't know about you, but if you want to work with Jericho, go ahead. Not going to make any money, but hey, you do what you got to do.
Although in Paul's case, it's weird because he fucking put Jericho over on an episode of Nitro when everyone was like, you shouldn't do it. It's like, I don't fucking care.
How about didn't I tell you to go over on him? You didn't like it? That's not what I said. But didn't I tell you to go over him? You didn't like it? I didn't say that. him and Bischoff arguing over it.
Now there are a bunch of different stories about with Jericho and Goldberg. Like I I was watching the Jericho documentary, and like basically one of the other big reasons why he was wanting to do this was because Jericho's very business-minded when it comes to pro wrestling, and he thought, well, we've been doing this angle for almost 2 months, and there are people that legit want to see Goldberg kill me. Why don't we do that match on pay-per-view, and we can get a big buy of it just for people to watch me get murdered by Goldberg? And let's be real. If they would have done the match, you could have gotten one of the biggest buy rates in company history just because Jericho was getting red hot he was red hot in 98 with his heel work. Like, he was just so fucking charismatic, and he just wanted to go further. He was out of the cruiserweights by this point. He was working the heavyweight guys.
He was the TV champion.
He was TV champion, so he wanted to
and
elevate his stock.
It would have been a 5 or 6 minute match.
And it would have been a really good match, too, considering Jericho could work with just about anybody.
Like, really one hope spot, but it'll mostly be Goldberg squashing the fuck out of it. And it wouldn't have mattered, because the fans would have gotten what they wanted.
Jericho would have ducked out of the ring, got back in the ring, ducked out of the ring, chicanery, dog and pony show, spear, jackhammer, done.
Yeah. And then, of course, in the documentary, they talk to Goldberg and his perspective. Of course, Goldberg's story, it flip-flops all the time. Like in the documentary, he said that he enjoyed the angle, but the only reason he didn't want to work with him was because he didn't think it made any sense to just squish him in 2 minutes. But then there's those stories that he didn't want to work with Jericho because he was a, quote, cruiserweight nobody, which led to the two having a real-life backstage fight in 2003 in WWE, where Jericho beat the shit out of Goldberg.
Goldberg saying your mama's a goof.
Yeah, after Goldberg mouths off Jericho to Kevin Nash, and then Jericho just is like, the fuck you talking about? And then Jericho beat the shit out of Goldberg, and then Goldberg gets called into wrestler's court, and his punishment has to apologize to Jericho and admit that Jericho has always been the better wrestler. Which, let's be real, he is, so swallow your pride, Goldberg. But it is what it is. And, we didn't get the
next
proper
big thing. Yep.
Well, to wrap it up, didn't really get a proper end to the Goldberg-Jericho thing, apart from one episode on Nitro where Goldberg sees Jericho with poofy hair and, like, armbands looking like a slob, and he's going, "What?" And then runs out and speared Jericho inside out.
And
that was pretty much it. But now, we get to Halloween Havoc, and we talked about it before. Goldberg versus Diamond Dallas Page. So DDP won the worst War Games match of all time the month prior at Fall Brawl to get this shot. And just like Jericho, DDP was red hot in 98, coming off of a red hot 97, especially with the stuff with Savage. And after the stuff with Savage, just kept elevating DDP up and up the ladder. U.S. title programs with Benoit and Raven, and working Hogan during the summer.
Like, the second biggest buy in WCW history is DDP and Malone versus Hogan and Rodman.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the Jay Leno stuff as well. Say what you will, but it's like, that was great business for WCW.
Yeah.
And the big thing here was, who's gonna win? This was the first time where fans are like, is this gonna be the night that the streak actually ends? Because Goldberg was very popular and on a roll. DDP very popular and on a roll, to the point where there was people within WCW that are like, maybe we should end the streak.
Yeah. And of course, with this match, it's mostly famous for the pay-per-view feed being cut, either during Hogan Warrior, after Hogan Warrior, the intros to DDP Goldberg, or right at the beginning of DDP Goldberg. So that's really what this match is known for, is that. But in reality, amazing match between the two. Definitely Goldberg's best match of his whole career.
Fucking spikes his head during the spear.
Yeah, and then it's in La La Land, and then, of course, the big moment, Goldberg, not only missing the spear, but goes for the jackhammer, DDP counters into the diamond cutter, and back in that time, once the diamond cutter was hit, shit was done.
It was over.
And the 1, 2, and right after 2, Goldberg kicks out, which, according to Dallas, Goldberg was supposed to kick out at like 2 and 99/100ths, but because Goldberg was in La La Land, just instinct kicked in. So, kind of sandbagged it a little bit, but it was unintentional because Goldberg had no idea where the fuck he was.
It's like, what's your name? I don't know. Where are you from? I don't know. Where are you? I don't know.
I don't know. Your mom.
Tu madre.
But in the end, Goldberg retains the belt. Now, I talked about a little bit when we did the Starrcade 98 episode, which we'll get to that match here in just a little bit. But I still am in the belief that if he was going to end the streak that wasn't at Starrcade, it would have been here, because it would have been a great moment for DDP to get the belt. And then people ask, well, what do you do with him afterwards? You could do many things with him. You could turn him heel, even though, honestly, I would never have turned DDP heel, because he was just so over as a babyface.
Yeah, they should have never turned DDP heel at all. Oh, wait, they did.
Oh, God. Oh,
Yeah.
Vince. Oh,
No, not even
In
that.
99, when he won the belt.
When he won the belt in 99, they turned him heel like a week afterwards.
True.
And it was
Sometimes my
done.
brain just forgets those shit.
But after Halloween Havoc, he does a continual run against the Giant. He starts stuff up with Bam Bam Bigelow.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get Starrcade against Kevin Nash,
Yep,
which
Kevin-
was the biggest match they could possibly do at that time was Goldberg and Nash. Nash was red hot with the Wolfpack that year. Goldberg was red hot. You could make a case of who was more popular at the time. There were starts of Goldberg sucks around this time as well.
Backlash was beginning
Backlash started right around here, yeah.
Yeah.
because get to the finish and then you get to the crowd reaction.
Exactly.
So-
You all the interference and then bzzz,
I'm the Bounty!
So,
jackknife 1, 2, 3.
and
And the
yeah,
crowd
Nash
popped.
wins the
Crowd
belt.
went.
Crowd did pop.
Oh, by
Yeah.
the way, look what I found. Look what I found on social media.
You can't see it.
Can't
Can't
see
see it.
Yep, now you can see
There
it.
you go.
Oh,
There's
Ah.
Nash and Jen and the
Yeah,
kids.
look how
Yep.
small Jennifer looks next to him.
I know. She's not. Then tell the story that she demanded.
Oh, she insisted he stood up. He insisted she stood up. She goes to the picture. You know, Atticus is excited. Kevin Nash. You know, Kevin's cool. Shakes his hand. And Jen's like, "Would it be all right if you stand up for the picture?" And Kevin goes, "Nah. It's gonna look like a terrible picture. It's gonna look terrible because I'm so big and you just look awkward." She goes, "Yeah, but I want the thing. I want." Jen's like, "I want the height differential. I want everyone to see how tall." But they see me on TV for years. They know how tall I am. And she's like, "Could you do it for me?" He's like, "No, all right."
All right.
Then he
fine.
got
Like, damn.
up and took the picture.
Because remember,
Daddy-
Jen's not used to having men around her that are taller. It's no offense to Walter, but she is a tall woman.
How small Atticus is in that picture, Mike.
Yeah, I know. Now Atticus is taller than her.
Yeah, Atticus would be up to Kevin's shoulders.
He's
now.
still growing too.
I know,
Yeah.
my God.
But yeah, Starrcade. So yeah, Nash won World War III the month prior to get the shot, and then the match. Another pretty good match for Goldberg. And that's the thing everybody forgets. They only want to talk about the finish, but the match was actually really good. Arguably the best match on this whole fucking card. Because Starrcade 98, we reviewed it. Not that good
Well,
of a
it wasn't
show.
the greatest of Starrcades, but the whole thing was this the right call? And how they did it. And I mean, if you're gonna end the streak, how else are you gonna end the streak with a guy who has just mowed through everybody, other than a gunshot?
Right.
How the
And that's
fuck
where
were
it's
you
like-
gonna end the streak?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And of
I mean,
course-
it's hindsight's 2020 to say, did they need to do that? Why didn't he just miss a spear, hit his head, turn around, powerbomb 1, 2, 3, just something like
All
that.
the
simplistically.
extracurriculars could have been
Yeah.
tossed
Yeah.
to the
Did you
side.
need all the other stuff there? I mean, Kevin Nash is the biggest guy in the company, minus the Giant, I know, but he's the most experienced big guy in the company. So there could be something played for that. And again, hindsight's 2020. It's over and done with. So It's just moving on.
But it
of
happened.
It happened.
It happened.
But of course, a lot of misconceptions and stories out there about this whole thing. And James, you've talked about them at length in the past, so I'll do the Reader's Digest version first. And I even said this myself years ago, and I think it was just asked by because I just wasn't into Kevin Nash at the time. But even still, people want to say Nash booked this. Fuck you, he did not. He didn't become booker until 2 months later. This was an Eric Bischoff call.
Even Eric's laid claim to it, so...
But yeah, that's the big one.
That was all Eric.
And you know what's funny?
Dave Meltzer said that Kevin Nash had the strong influence in the booking, and Dave Meltzer doesn't know what he's talking about.
Right.
Let's see Dave Meltzer run a promotion.
Yeah, good luck with
Dave,
that.
not everything is fucking about you.
Motherfucker.
And the ironic thing of it is, like, so many people still to this day believe Nash booked himself to be Goldberg, yet when he did take the book 2 months later, he let Goldberg go over on him at Spring Stampede.
Hell, Kevin's first night as the booker, he lost to the smallest guy on the roster.
Right.
And it's like, okay, yeah, Nash booked himself to be Goldberg, yet a week later he drops it right to Hogan with the finger point.
That's why he
what
did
the,
it, yeah.
What the fuck did that do to him?
Exactly. But alas, it happened. And then, of course, Finger Poke of Doom happens tonight. We was supposed to have gotten the rematch between Nash and Goldberg, but then they ran that angle where Goldberg's arrested for stalking Elizabeth.
He's a prevert.
And then we get him coming back to the Georgia Dome, only to be attacked by Luger and forming the NWO Elite when they spray paint Goldberg and the belt with red spray paint. And yeah, I kind of look at that moment as like the beginning of the decline of Goldberg in the company, because he really wasn't the same after that January 4th show.
No. It's like they had no idea what to do with him after, we made the monster and he's the king. All right, he's not king anymore. What we do?
How many undefeated streaks actually work? Tatanka was undefeated. Ludwig Borga beat him. Nobody gives him shit about it. God rest his soul.
But yeah, and then of course, like, the whole thing with the Finger Poke of Doom we talked about before, but again, like, originally this was all supposed to have led to, of course, the reunion of the NWO, which we did get, but it was all meant to be Goldberg to just mow through everybody in no time and get the belt back for another run, but people in the NWO got injured and it killed plans off, so they just had to scramble.
Goldberg took time off, NWO gets injured, they make Ric Flair the top babyface again, so it's like...
Everything's all over the place. Steiner's like injure him so he can go do the Universal Soldier movie.
Well, that was after the Spring Stampede match.
Sold out.
Yeah.
Sold out. You have the stun gun ladder match against Scott Hall. You had Goldberg in a ladder match.
Yeah.
And then Super Brawl against Bam Bam. The Bret Hart steel plate incident
that happened
on Nitro in Canada. Yeah. One of the best moments in Nitro history. First time there in Canada. Bret calls out Goldberg. Spear. Both guys are laid out. It's the fistful of quarters moment.
Yep.
Yep.
Was this before or after the kick to the head?
This was before. This was
way before.
Oh, okay.
This set up to absolutely nothing because Bret quits and then he's gone and doesn't come back until after Owen's death.
Yeah. But yeah, then we get the Goldberg-Nash match at Spring Stampede, which Goldberg got the win back. And then at Slamboree, he gets injured by the Steiners.
Yep, him and Sting, they advertised that as one of the big matches of the show. And it's like, oh my God, it's Sting and Goldberg for like the first time ever, even though they had a match They had a match the night after Fall Brawl in 98 for the world title. But whatever. And then he took a few months off to film the movie. Then he comes back to face Rick Steiner at Road Wild. DDP at Fall Brawl. Then you get the Sid feud.
Yep. Sid
which, oh my god, Sid was like comedy gold during this feud.
Why me?
Oh my god! What happened to my car? Goldberg! Where are you? Goldberg!
He was going on full on Terry Funk, honestly.
Yeah,
he really
was.
But also during this time, they were trying to build Sid up with his own streak, the Millennium Man, and they were poking fun at it. It's like, oh, every power bomb's a win. So he was at like 80-0 or some shit, and he'd only been in the company like a few months, leading to Halloween Havoc for the the US title, and bloody fucking match where he beats Sid with a referee stoppage, and then in the he wins the world title, but it was taken away because it was unsanctioned.
Right. Yep. And then we get he beats Sting because Sting does the open challenge, and then next night Dylan says no, it wasn't sanctioned, give it back. And then
that sets up the 32-man tournament.
32.
Which one of the matches was for the U.S. title against Brett that he lost.
In the first round.
It was the first round. It's like, we have a tournament, but it's for the U.S. title. Gee, I wonder who's booking.
Yeah.
And then you get the I Quit match at Mayhem against Sid.
Yep. In which Goldberg beats Sid to end that feud, and then we get back to the Brett stuff
with Brett. They win the tag team titles on an episode of Thunder against Creative Control.
I am the tag team champions.
But then they lose the belts almost immediately to the Outsiders.
Yeah.
And then you get the match at Starrcade for the world title with the Kid.
God, the Kid.
Yeah, which the match itself was but
the match was actually not bad.
Yeah, it was alright. It was an alright match, but yeah, it's like people say it was the kick that ended Brett's career. The kick. Goldberg did this to him. It wasn't the kick per se that did Brett in.
Brett wrestled
a hardcore match and other matches afterwards.
He was taking weapon shots from Terry Funk on Nitro.
Yeah. Yeah, so had this been modern medical procedure in wrestling, Brett would have not touched the ring after Starrcade until like a month or two later.
Different time.
Brett could have
what a lot of people forget about Starrcade. They had Piper come out as the referee and they recreated Montreal. Where he just comes out, rings the bell, and fucking leaves.
Right, and leaves.
Yep. And then
speaking of injuries, look, a limo.
But before that, Brett wins the vacant belt. You have the NWO 2000 formation. And then that Thunder, Goldberg, I don't need a bat. I'm going to use my hand to break a window. Fucking nearly loses his arm.
Because didn't Goldberg think that was like the
he thought it was gimmicked.
But it was real. Use a ball bat. I don't fucking need a bat. I'm Goldberg.
I'm Goldberg, damn it.
God
damn it, I'm the Goldberg.
And he almost loses his arm. He's out for the next 6 months.
Yeah. What happened, Levi?
And the thing about this is Kevin Nash always misremembers this moment because he thinks this moment happened after the finger point of doom.
Oh.
But it's like, no.
No, dude, it's way
This happened at the end of 99.
Yep. A shadow of things to come that would happen in the company in the next year.
Because Goldberg returns in 2000. He has a brief feud against Tank Abbott because they were trying to build that up. And then the heel turn at the Great American Bash. The thing nobody wanted to see, because why would anybody want to see Goldberg as a heel? He's only been He's only been the biggest babyface in the company since he came, since the summer of '98. But it's like, oh, let's turn him heel. Let's bring up Starrcade again. Let's have a match for Scott Hall's contract where he fucking eats a piece of paper.
Which, speaking of that match for the contract...
Well, before that, they tried to get heat on Goldberg by having him punch Jim Duggan in the kidney after Duggan comes back from cancer.
Jeez.
So it's like, oh, bro, why don't you punch Jim Duggan in the kidney? Because he had the cancer, and that'll get you heat. And it's like, who the fuck wanted to see that?
One guy, fucking shit stain. He's the only one who fucking see that.
But then Bash at the Beach, the match for Scott Hall's contract, and then we get to New Blood Rising, everybody.
Yeah, so New Blood Rising happens. So in the penultimate match of that show, it's Goldberg, Nash, and Steiner in a triple threat for a shot at the world title against either Booker or Jarrett.
On paper, it sounds good.
Yeah, on paper, this sounds like it should be a really fucking brutal triple threat.
Now, throughout the entire build, everybody's using shoot terms. I'm going over and blah, blah, blah. And then we get the match where first, Goldberg, he's not going to be there because he injured his ribs in a motorcycle accident. But no, he comes out, and then Nash goes for the jackknife. Goldberg pushes out of the way, leaves, and Russo's like, get back in the ring. No, get back in the ring. Fuck you. And leaves, and then Russo just leaves right behind him. Because it's real. It's real, bro.
Follow the script, bro.
Now, okay, if this was real, Kevin and Scott would have beat the shit out of Bill.
Yes, absolutely.
There'd have been a shoot finish, then Russo comes out, what the hell's going on?
What the fuck, guys?
But yeah,
doesn't work for me, brother.
This is what, people complain about, well, up until recently, except for recent times, the WWE product. Shit wasn't this bad.
No, not to the point of fucking bankruptcy, people.
People pissing their pants over the Seth Rollins, Bray Wyatt, Hell in a Cell.
Oh yeah, God! They were just so insulted by that match.
That's nothing. That's fucking nothing.
Nothing.
You had a match on pay-per-view where they basically said everything is fake except for this that is also fake.
That's also fake.
Bro,
what are they going to do? Improvise? So Madeja shoots on Kevin Nash, and then we get a feud with Goldberg and Vince Russo. But out of all this shit, we did get a great match with Goldberg and Steiner at Fall Brawl 2000. That was like maybe the best match WCW had all year. Was the Goldberg Steiner, this is real.
It just boggles the mind to see how bad things were.
What an embarrassing time.
But then Goldberg spearing Russo through the cage and giving Russo a concussion. And then the start of he has to go through the streak again to get a shot at the world title. And he starts beating a bunch of people, Chronic in a handicap match, Luger back-to-back pay-per-views, and then he teams with his old trainer, Sergeant Buddy Lee Parker, Dwayne Bruce, against Totally Buffett Sin, and loses, and thus the end of his career, and that's because he was injured at the time, so he had to be written off.
And the buyout happens, and
the rest
WCW ends. And ends.
Goldberg's run ended with a whimper.
Yeah, you kind of noticed at the very end, people be kind of went all down here after.
And gee, I wonder why that's the case. Cause we gotta make things quote unquote real, bro. Fuck
real,
you,
brother.
Vince Russo.
Dude, we're gonna call Goldberg a coward on commentary. Because Nash and Steiner, they're professionals. They could have beat him up.
Sure, they're professional as me watching, like, I don't know, fucking telenovelas all fucking night, you fucking liars!
But it's like, yeah, Goldberg's run ended. I mean, the last year of Goldberg's career, of his WCW run, it was worse than his 2003 WWE run.
Way worse.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Way
yeah.
worse.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Like,
At least there was bright spots in his WWE run in 2003 through Mania.
For the, if we ever did a top 10 misuses of talent, there's,
That's one.
one of your top ones right there. Just
Yes.
everything after Starrcade 98 with Goldberg, everything was a decline.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah, but overall, all in all, I mean, it's a legendary run regardless at the end because,
Yeah.
I mean, it created, like, great squash matches to watch on a
Great
weekly
TV.
basis.
Yeah?
Yeah, that timeline there from when he debuted, September 22nd, 97, all the way up to Starrcade the next year, that was an incredible run to witness in real life and see it unfold before you. Because nothing had been like that. There had been nothing like that in the modern era of pro wrestling that I can walk. Can you think of anything like that? They tried to really smash somebody over for that long a time. I mean, you would get the
the
big name
Road
to come,
Warriors as a team?
before that, though, that was way earlier. So I'm talking about in that time frame of like, because also Road Warrior thing was more regional. It wasn't on the national level as it was with this situation. I mean, you'd have the big name, like the big huge guy come in. King Kong Bundy would come in to the WWF in '85, smash him over, and then a year later he's working WrestleMania with Hogan, and then he goes down. But that's just the way the feeder system worked for the world champion in the Northeast. Here was a guy starting out as a nobody and becoming the top guy in record time.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing really off the top of my head.
I mean, I can't think of anything
I've
like
ever
that.
seen
That was impactful.
Yeah.
Then the guy in like that full speed ahead. Maybe the closest would be, and not maybe Ultimate Warrior, but not really. I don't know.
Yeah. And even
I mean,
Warrior,
afterwards, the only other example I could give is Samoa Joe, but even at that, he was having competitive matches during.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
different.
It's like a lot of people tried to do the Goldberg thing afterwards. Like
Ryback.
Crimson and TNA, they tried giving him a streak, and that didn't work.
Which, to be fair-
they tried with Baron Corbin. They tried with Baron Corbin when he first came to NXT.
Yes, they
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
to be fair-
It was working.
Roman
It was
McIntyre.
over. The crowd was counting as soon as the bell rang.
Mm-hmm.
And to be fair to Ryback, it was going great for him until Cena got hurt heading into Hell in a Cell, and
And
then
then they
it's like,
put
what the
themselves
fuck do
in
we
a
do?
lose-lose situation.
Ryback, can
They
you come
put
in?
themselves into a corner.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When in that situation, they could have easily fixed that by having Ryback win the Rumble and win the big gold belt from Big Show at Mania, and they could have salvaged it all. But
Or they could have just had Ryback win the title there and then drop it back to Punk.
either way, but but in the end of the day, yeah, legend in his own right. For the impact he made on the business is giant because, like we just said, nobody had seen anything like this on this big of a scale.
He had a real life superhero presence about him.
He really
And
did.
to this day, if his music hits, the crowd's
You
going
get
to
the
chant.
chants.
They're going to get excited. He
Goldberg.
brings it. So
For
Yeah,
people
if it-
that want to say WCW didn't create stars, they
Not one.
fucking created Goldberg.
Goldberg.
Yeah.
Jim
And
Ross said he was
also-
the one guy got a break.
Yeah, and also, like, people want to say, oh, Goldberg wasn't a good worker because he can't do arm drags. He'll even admit anybody can fucking do that.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, I guarantee you, if they told Bill to do arm drags and all that stuff, he would have done it just fine, and it wouldn't have mattered. But what they had him do, but with what they had him do, it worked to perfection.
Well, what did he do when did he work All Japan against Kawada?
Yeah,
or something
he
like
worked
that?
All Japan. He worked.
Yeah.
He wrestled Kojima,
Kojima,
and Taiyo Koya, and they were squashes.
Mhm.
Hell, we forgot to mention too, whenever he injured his arm with the limo, he was supposed to wrestle Manabu Nakanishi at the January
In
4th,
New
2000 Dome
Japan.
show.
Yep, at the Dome show. Yeah, he missed out on that one.
Which one?
The
It was a Dome
2000
Show
Dome
in
Show
2000.
against
Yeah,
Manabu
January
Nakanishi.
2000. Because it was right after he hurt his arm in the limo thing.
Another squash.
Now, other than the DDP match, what would be Goldberg's best match in WCW?
I guess Hogan.
One of the matches I thought was Sting with the one with Sting on Nitro was actually really good.
Probably the one with Hogan when he won the world title.
Yeah, Hogan Nitro.
I'd
match.
probably say
Nitro,
Hogan.
yeah, for the
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
If he didn't,
Yeah.
but I mean, that's just easy for me. I mean, outside of that, probably his stuff with Raven. You know, I think.
That Nitro match where he won the U.S. title.
The Steiner match at Fall Brawl.
Because that was like the
2000.
prototypical Raven match at the time. Get the flock involved and falsy, you know, all this other shit. Then finally you hit him. It's same stuff he would do in an ECW. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that would.
So that's it's Goldberg's WCW run, folks.
Started out great and ended
in disaster.
Burning wind disaster.
Yes, it puts the
But
ass
now-
in disaster.
But now, this week in wrestling.
This week in wrestling.
Hold on.
So I figured the first thing to talk about is, well, MJF. Apparently, it's been reported that he signed a new contract with AEW worth over $1 million.
Signed a new contract. He got more money.
He got more
Or
money.
more money, yeah. $1 million.
And it's apparently it's way over $1 million.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which
Not what he wanted.
good on him, because after all, getting paid less than $100,000, that's bullshit.
That was a joke.
But
I mean, come
it
on.
still lasts until 2024.
Yep, the bidding war of 2024.
2024.
It also sets a dangerous precedent for Tony Khan, because then it's like, okay, everyone that he hasn't updated their contracts, they're going to go out on television and shoot promo him and yell at him in order for them to get the better money. Yeah.
Hey,
sets a bad precedent.
what's next? Darby Allin coming out saying, "You fucking Mark."
Fuck you.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's not gonna work.
Darby was also monotone, though. Yeah, you fucking Mark.
You fucking Mark. I want my money. I hate sleeping on the fucking concrete. You catch me? Okay.
I wonder how much Sting is making. I bet you Sting's making a boatload.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
yeah.
got to. He's
Oh,
probably
yeah.
one of the highest paid guys in the company.
Yeah, but
Like
they
top
put him on
five.
Jericho,
Rampage.
Sting.
Grand Slam. They put him on Rampage. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But we did get the great moment with Muta.
On Rampage.
Yeah, again, on Rampage, yep.
Which
But
And minutes after we get the Muda moment, Julia Hart fucking shit cans herself over a table.
you know what would be funny? You know what would be
Almost
funny
died.
if Dan Houser cuts a promo. Hey, Tony Khan, you give me my money or else I curse you because I am evil.
But
More money, it's very evil.
speaking of Sting and Muta, I did see today that Sting's going to be part of Muta's last show.
January 22nd. It's a Noah show. Everyone's like, people who don't watch Japanese wrestling are wondering why it's not a New Japan show.
Because they don't
Yeah.
fucking get it.
Noah is hosting the show, and from what I gather, there will be New Japan talent on the show. So cool your jets. But I'm guessing it's going to be like with Liger, it's going to be a multi-man match. Probably a 6-man or an 8-man with people from Muta's career.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What I would do is a 6-man tag with Muta, Shono, and somebody to represent Hashimoto, to represent the Three Musketeers. Against Sting, Kensuke Sasaki, and
Who's around that he could? Well, who's the top guy in Noah?
Tiyama.
Robbie Tiama.
Yeah, it's a possibility. Yeah. Oh no! Who is the GHC champion right now? It might not be. It might be. Not Tiyama.
That's my
Kittyama.
question.
Kittyama.
Oh.
Okay. Oh yeah, of course it's him. Oh,
It's that guy.
it's that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The current champion is Kino.
Okay.
Kenoh. Kenoh.
Right.
Not a big
Okay.
Japanese wrestling fan, so sometimes it just goes.
Mhm.
Michinoku,
exactly.
Michinoku Pro Wrestling rookie trained by Jinsei Shinzaki.
Okay.
Okay.
That's cool.
Okay, I guess so. Yeah, cool.
So,
Well, maybe not him then, because nobody knows who the fuck he is.
No.
You're gonna need somebody knows.
Yeah, if it's gonna be people that related to tied in with Muda's career, like I said,
That's still active. That's the thing too. It's
Kojima.
I was just gonna say Kojima,
Kojima.
or Tenzan.
Kojima
or
wrestles
something like that.
in Noah right now, anyway. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that works.
That'd be fine.
Sting, Kojima, and Kensuke Sasaki.
Mhm. Yeah, that would make more sense.
Versus
There you go.
Chono, Muda, and
And
Somebody
somebody
represent
standing in
them.
for Hashimoto. Who could stand
Now
in for
that's
Hashimoto?
who stands in for Hashimoto, and
Hiroshi Hase.
is Hase
That'll
still
work.
wrestling though? That's I don't know.
Oh,
I was
you're
going to say him.
Yeah,
but
he
what's
might
he
not.
active?
Hase's up there in age. So
Yeah. There's really
It
nobody.
doesn't stop like Fujinami.
No,
There you
well,
go.
that's true.
Fujinami will be in the picture.
Oh God, no. I was going to say
Actually,
Nagata.
Hold on, no.
I was going to say Yuji Nagata, but I don't know if it would actually
Nagata's a
be effective,
possibility.
because I know he's still wrestling, but I don't think it's really like that level.
Let me see here. KG Muto tag team partners.
Vampiro.
Vampiro. Yeah, the Deadpool.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Because
I
there
would watch
would be a
for
tie with
that.
Vampiro and Sting.
Yeah.
So
Vampiro, motherfuckers!
And plus, it goes with the theme: Muto, Chono, Vampiro.
no,
You're welcome.
Muda and ICP.
Oh God!
So you're getting booked, huh, James? Whoop, whoop.
Actually, Hase would probably make the most sense because him and Muto were 2-time tag team champions. So
There you go.
those are the only
Yeah,
two
but-
guys Muta's held the tag title with is Chono and Hase.
Oh, in that case, there, yeah,
I'm
Okay.
sure
that
Hase's
makes
in
total-
very good shape though, despite his age.
probably. Yeah.
Well,
Like,
the guy
hey,
will
you want to
always-
wrestle one match? Sure.
Mhm. Mhm.
How old is Hase right now? Hase doesn't look terrible either. He looks decent. He's 61.
Oh,
That's not that old.
He can pull
for
it
actually,
off.
it's not bad at all.
And Hase has always been in great shape. And from what I understand, he is the Minister of Education, Culture, and Sports and Athletics in Japan right now. So yeah,
There you go.
so I can assure you, he's always been in very good shape, very good condition. He's probably, for a 61-year-old man, he probably looks better than Ricky Steamboat.
Probably looks better than all the other guys in that match,
Probably.
including Sting.
And he'll do the gyration, and then he'll do the giant swing, and all the smarks will be like, "What?"
I think it was the story that Liger told that they were all driving in a van, and for some reason they stopped at someplace, and Muto and Hase, I think it was those two. It might have been Muto and Hashimoto, but I'm trying to remember the names. But it sounds like it'd be more Hase and Muto. They would just like stand. They would like stand in front of each other, back up, and run at each other and hit each other in the head at the same time, as hard as they could. And they would do it constantly. Just a thing. Just a fucking thing that they fucking did. I don't get it. Also, the joke was with Hase, you didn't want to get too close because his nostrils were so big, he might suck you up.
Yes. That I've heard before.
That was the Liger thing.
What I've heard before. How about the brand new narrative on social media that smarky marks who don't watch New Japan have this impression that the Great Khali was a good worker when he was in New Japan?
Yeah, this is a new thing now. This is another thing that's starting. Like, no,
Scott and
stop.
I were around with the Great Khali's
Mhm.
Japan run. I showed it to him.
Who did he kill?
He fucking sat on him.
Yeah, but he actually killed a couple of wrestlers, didn't he?
He killed a wrestler at Roland Alexander's training camp there.
There you go.
Yeah.
So still counts. I don't care. Was it in Japan?
Yeah.
Still fucking counts.
Yeah.
He killed somebody.
He almost killed Tenzan. Remember?
Yes,
Hit the
that
leg.
I do remember.
He,
Yeah.
he just fucking sits on fucking Tenzan's head.
Oh God.
Jesus. But anyway,
But real
Anyway,
quick, but real quick, Zach brought up a funny fucking comment. I wish Steve-O would have wrestled Terry Funk so Funk could say he wrestled another jackass.
Oh, God.
Uh,
Steve-O and Terry Funk would have been awesome.
That would have been awesome. I'm not
It
gonna
would've been
lie. But I just want to also talk about last night's SmackDown, the segment with Roman and Sammy.
Oh, that's the
God.
best
Oh,
story
my
going.
God.
That's
I saw
the
that
best
clip.
story going right now.
Yeah.
That is the
Oh.
best angle in. This is the best storyline in wrestling today.
War Games!
Yes.
Emotionally invested.
That's where they had the crowd. That's where they had the crowd.
Nothing comes close.
No.
Yeah, that was a brilliant segment. I love how Roman's like, I like you, Sammy, but why are you wearing our shirt? Take that off. I don't ever want to see you wear that shirt again. Because I got you a new one. Honorary use. And it's funny, the dynamic with Sammy and the whole bloodline. It's like he and Jimmy get on perfectly, like they're
Right.
best buds. Solo, little hesitant, but he's welcoming. Jay, on the other hand, is like,
Jay
what
is
the hell's this guy
stone-faced.
doing
Jay,
here?
Jay is like fired up, man. Wow.
Mhm.
And meanwhile, Heyman, he's going
Who's
along
this
with it.
motherfucker?
Yep.
Heyman's going along with it, and Roman, he's like, I'll just play with you a little bit and see where this goes.
I acknowledge you. It's my tribal chief.
This is Mankind and Vince McMahon all over
Right.
again.
Yes.
Because
And it's
when when the time comes that the bloodline turns on Sammy,
Mhm.
It's gonna
Oh
be
my-
huge.
Could you imagine
Mm.
Sammy
Wait,
winning
Sammy-
the title?
Sammy beats
Oh,
Roman.
Oh,
Can you imagine
that?
that?
would be the biggest pop ever.
boy,
Oh,
Levi is
moment
chomping at the bit about something.
Something.
but the moment
Well, hold
that
on,
the
hold on a
bloodline
second.
beats Sam, what?
Because I got this in my head. Here's how you book Sammy getting how the bloodline turns on Sammy. War Games match at Survivor Series. Say Sammy takes the fall in the match, and then you're done. And run off to the races you go. I'll take my royalty check, please.
Or you do that, but then Sammy wins like the next episode of SmackDown. They celebrate, but then the whole thumbs up, thumbs down. They just beat the shit out of him, and you're gonna get people in tears.
Can you
Yes.
imagine? I know we're going off booking right now. Can you imagine Sammy winning the Rumble? Can you imagine that?
We talked about that, I think, last week or something.
Yeah,
Sammy's
we talked
winning
about
the
that.
Rumble.
Him winning the Rumble or winning the Money in the Bank contract or something to where he gets in line, and as over as he's getting, could you contemplate the thought, the possibility, the imaginatory, so put that fucking phone off, the possibility of the goddamn fact that he could possibly beat Roman.
I mean,
I mean,
after the
is
Broken
he-
Skull Sessions interview with Sammy, and he
I
said
mean-
that he would like to be champion one time. Why
Mhm.
this would be a good
He's
time.
getting
Look-
to that Mankind in 99 territory
Yes.
where it's
Yes.
like, do you just
Yes.
go with the flow and say,
Yeah,
yeah, we may have to do this?
I mean,
Roman is Rock. Brock is Stone Cold. He comes out to F5s Roman for Sammy to get the big haluva kick pin.
Again,
Because there is
it
the
all
history of
depends-
Sammy and Brock. There is that too.
But like we said, it all depends on The Rock. If The Rock's gonna fix Roman at Mania, that's where the pieces are gonna start to come up. It
Mhm.
depends on that, because that's the big factor we're missing.
But also, Cody coming back and
Cody
stuff.
Cody thing.
And the
still
Money
there
in the
too, but
Bank
it's like-
situation, whether
I
that's
think-
going to be Theory or Gargano, possibly. If they're going to go
There's
down
a
the road
lot of different ways.
There really
but-
is.
And that's the great
Just-
thing. That's the cool thing.
The story right now, it's one of those, it's great, and it's like, we know what's going to happen. It's just, when is it going to happen?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's the fun part.
It really is.
I say,
What else we got going on?
Street Jey Uso is scary when he gets fucking mad. It is a little intimidating.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, which is why I really like the whole dynamic. Yeah, like it's like Sammy and Jay, they're like that. Solo,
Mhm.
a little hesitant but willing to give hugs. Meanwhile, yeah, and like I said, Jay just looks around like, why is this
The
dumbass here with us?
I'm not buying this.
I'm not buying this.
Mhm.
The white rabbit.
Yeah.
Rabbit is getting a lot of buzz. So, is the White Rabbit Adam Rose?
No. No.
If you're gonna bring that guy back, bring him back as Leo Kruger.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's Justin
Now-
Gabriel. That's who it is.
I've seen some people post some theories about this whole thing where the White Rabbit is Karrion Kross, Abby the
Right.
Witch is
Scarlet.
Mercy
Who's
the
the-
Buzzard is
Dexter.
Dexter Loomis.
Yep.
The pig is Braun Strowman,
Braun. Yep.
and then Bray comes back.
He has all the characters of the Firefly.
All the Easter eggs.
The Funhouse. Everything there. Yep. Yeah, I love that theory. It's not right, but it's still fucking good.
Imagine if it does turn out to be right in the end.
But if you notice one thing, I mean, they've only played the White Rabbit song during commercials.
Yeah.
They don't do it on the air.
Not on TV. It's for the
Not on
the
TV.
house. It's for the live audience.
Plus, they would have to
it
pay
was.
for the song.
Yeah, there is
They
that
gotta pay
factor
more
too.
royalties, so there goes that. But you know, the more I see
Yeah, it's
it,
really fucking
I
good.
just think of Bray. It's the only one. Unless there's
Mhm.
somebody we're not thinking that could come to that. Who else could it be?
Actually, I think it's just a promotion for Tricks.
Silly rabbit. Tricks are for kids.
Then again,
Oh,
there's this theory that
Hey, if
the
John
Extreme-
Cena can do Fruity Pebbles,
Then again, there's this theory of the Extreme Rules posters, and you see the buzzers and the fireflies, the
the
lantern.
stuff is in there. Yeah,
They're
yeah.
Bray, anybody? But
All kinds of little things. Like it's brilliant stuff.
Which
I mean-
speaking of Extreme Rules, so far we got 3 matches on the card. We got Liv and Ronda
Yes.
an Extreme Rules match. That should be an intense fucking match.
That fucking table spot on SmackDown that Liv did. Holy shit!
I gotta check that out.
That's
I
how you
missed
do a
that.
table spot.
That's how you do
AEW.
that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
My
My God, the clips are on Twitter, but man, that fucking bump! I can't believe she did
it should have been me.
that. Yeah, there's one great spot on that clip where you can just pause and just look at it for a while. But go with that. Yeah, that was fucking sick. So
But
that's it.
Damn it,
As if on
SpongeBob.
cue.
Hey, if it was
Didn't
the kid,
plan that.
right, some would have been that all
Oh.
over and over.
Well,
and
yeah,
over.
we know.
We know.
Scarlet. Anyways. Well, actually, speaking of Scarlet, Drew versus Cross finally, and a strap match.
Strap
too.
match.
A strap match. That's a strap match.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Which
I was
hopefully it's a proper strap match and not strap matches where they just wail on each other and it's pinfall or submission. But like an actual strap match, this has a potential. Well, this and the other one, Matt Riddle versus Seth Rollins in the Fight Pit match. These are
Yes.
two matches I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to, 'cause especially the Fight Pit match.
If you've seen the fight pit match with Riddle and Thatcher,
That was
Thatcher.
brutal.
Dude.
yeah,
The modern day Lions Den match.
that where Thatcher got his teeth knocked, where Riddle knocked his teeth out.
Yeah,
I remember when he got knocked out, but yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Timothy Thatcher is too fucking hardcore for the Blackpool Combat Club.
Oh Jesus, yeah. God, he is way too dangerous, and apparently in other areas too. Well, he got fired, but yeah.
I don't know.
Me Too movement.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't know
there
he
was
part of
that.
that. Oh,
That was why he got fired.
I
Yeah.
had no idea he was part of that. Okay, I thought
Yeah.
they just let him go.
Nope.
What else has happened? Oh, Crown Jewel, Logan Paul,
Crown Jewel, Logan
Roman
Paul
Reigns.
and Roman, masterfully done. Because not everyone, but a lot of people are shitting on this match. Why the fuck is Logan Paul getting a shot at Roman? Oh my God, you
It's
people are-
business.
Thank you. Business.
And
It's
then
the
I liked-
wrestling business.
And I like Tony Khan's comments afterwards that the real Crown Jewel is the New York market, which I'm like,
Shut up, Tony. Just shut up. Do not kiss our ass. We don't need you, okay? Just go back home. Go back to fucking Florida. Nobody likes you anyway.
and then of course
You
Punk
fucking mark.
hopefully not coming back, which there's a high chance not gonna happen.
Yeah,
They
Punk
come
getting a
back.
buyout.
The Punk getting a buyout, possibly. Yeah, that's...
Elite's
and-
probably
It
might not be
Who
coming
knows?
back. There's
which
no one said a word because there's a lot of legal shit that's still
a lot of
potential.
hush-hush,
Yeah.
I did say earlier that, if they buy out Punk's contract, you're never going to see him in wrestling again. It took so much money, promises, whatever it was, to just get him back in the business at all after what happened to him when he left. He comes back for 1 year and it just becomes a big fucking flop.
Shit
So
show.
you're never going to see him again. In my opinion, you're not. Unless something miraculous happens in his life in the next 3-4 years, you won't see him in any wrestling at all. Because why would he even want to now?
Right.
He's
old, he's tired, and he's working with fucking children.
He lost one of his best friends, one of his longest friends, pretty much because of wrestling business. Yeah, he met his wife, and God bless her for putting up with him. But there's nothing else he can say. What does he rest his hat on now?
I mean, he's done it all. He doesn't need to prove himself anymore.
Didn't do it all. No, he didn't. Didn't main event
no.
WrestleMania. That's a big fucking
besides that,
chip on his shoulder. But what's one of the best promo guys of the modern era? Yeah. And what else?
Let's see who wins the Ring of Honor Championship.
Ring of Honor Championship, Summer of Punk. Yeah, okay, cool. And WWE run, it's all overshadowed by the way he left and the way he was treated and the way he reacted to it. And
then he comes back, and then look how it ends.
Look how it ends.
It doesn't matter how his run went; it's how it ends.
Right.
Yep.
Because what do we say about a match? You only remember is the finish. It's the same thing with career.
Yep.
It's unless you have standout moments like a Flair or a Hogan or a Savage or people of
Goldberg
that nature, or Goldberg, like we're just talking about exactly.
Baker.
Punk, you've got you got him and John Cena, and Money in the Bank. Okay, but is that what you hang your hat on? How long ago was that?
11.
What's he got to hang his hat on with AEW?
That was close to 15 years?
Mm-hmm. Shit. So he was probably looking for that one moment to get in this run, and take it away from him. He's never going to get another chance.
Besides, he's not as young as he used to be. He's almost
because
50.
He's already going to be out about a year with an injury.
Right.
So, which he came back way too soon, but
then he gets injured again, and he's going to be out even longer. So,
the will is strong, but the body is weak. I know. So,
but speaking of AEW, new World Tag Team Champions in the Acclaimed.
The Acclaimed, yeah.
Huge rightfully so. They are one of the few guys. They're a non-WWE tag team who naturally got over with the fans. And you notice they didn't do it with flips and dips. They did it with character work.
We have a new AEW champion in Jon Moxley, who broke his back carrying the company again.
Very surprising, because I thought he was going to lose this so he could take his time off.
But I think with this, it's one of those, you want Danielson's run to actually mean something and not be like a 2-month, you're going to drop it to MJF. Because we all know. And then, of course, we get another new champion, the Ocho. Yes. Jericho winning the championship of nothing.
Nothing.
It's what's the nothing?
Nada.
Oh, he's the Ring of Honor World Champion. What does that mean when they have no TV?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if
I'm the No Mercy N64 champion. Means as much.
Yeah, and
I mean, it's still one of those weird things. Ring of Honor champion Chris Jericho.
Yeah, I never thought in a million years that would have happened.
And the smart crowd is raging about it, saying Cesaro's worked so hard to become a world champion, and it only lasted a month and a half. Well,
yeah.
What was he the world champion of?
Right, it's a month and a half of nothing.
Inactive promotion.
And I jokingly say, next thing you know, Chris Jericho's gonna go to AAA and win the world title, which, just thinking about it, it's a bigger possibility now that he's the Ring of Honor World Champion.
Nueve.
You gotta make it the 9 time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I also love the narrative of how Lionheart Chris Jericho was the ultimate Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
Ultimate
okay.
version of
Whatever
Chris
that
Jericho.
means.
Mott's like, no, I want the Lionheart. Well, what about the one that beat The Rock and Steve Austin in one night?
Yeah,
Wouldn't
that was not
be
Lionheart.
I want
Apex
Lionheart.
Jericho though?
Mhm.
Or what? Or the Jericho in the suit and speaking like this.
Quiet.
Or give me
Quiet.
Scarf Jericho. Hell, that was fucking amazing. You just made the
Mhm.
list.
What about the Jericho at the beginning of AEW?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that one too. Yeah.
Champion.
The one they were building the company around,
Le
basically.
Champion.
Le Champion.
A little bit of the bubbly.
Little bit of the bubbly.
Hey,
That guy.
Yeah.
hey, the people. Okay, hold on. We people didn't bear it. It sucks.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, I forgot to bring up too with NXT Halloween Havoc coming up, and they got. And I'm looking at this match. It's like, couldn't this have just been Braun versus Ilya? Do we need Devlin in there? No. Or I'm sorry, JD McDonough. Or
Yeah,
whatever the fuck
yeah.
that
Different
is.
name now, but yeah.
But,
Maybe it's a way for Braun to lose the belt without actually losing.
True.
Possibly.
Yeah, but at the
Possibly.
same token, I mean, when you got now that Ilya's back and cleared to compete again, it's like,
Mhm.
man, you would rather see him beat Braun in a one-on-one straight up and put on an amazing match, but
Mhm.
we get a triple threat because
Yeah.
we gotta have Devlin in there for reasons.
Reasons.
We're having another North American Championship ladder match.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because they took it off of Solo. So.
hmm But I actually saw the segment of how they did with Shawn and Carmelo in there, and like Solo not being pissed off. He was actually like being like honorable, like, all right, there you go.
All right, fine.
All right.
By the
That's
way,
fine.
whoever produced and edited that segment, you're fucking fired. It looked like shit. Oh my god, the edits in that thing gave me a fucking headache. It pissed me off. What do you do? That they're using that take? Oh my god. Oh, fucking bullshit. It was like one shot of Carmelo. All he does is that. That was a shot. What the fuck was that for? That was stupid. Shawn looks horrible. Fix your fucking eye, dude. Don, fix your teeth. Michael's fix your fucking eye. Put glasses on. Put shades on or something.
Leave Sean alone.
Put
Leave
that
him
dumb hat off. We
alone.
know you're bald. Take your fucking
Have Kane kick him in the head again. Maybe that'll
Would you
set that
would you
crooked eye
mind,
straight.
please? Set that shit straight, yes, please. Oh, shit.
If you're not down with that,
But anyway. Uh-huh. Googly eye. Sean, I'm over here. Sean, over here. Over here, Sean.
Oh,
Over
here, over there. All right, there.
How many fingers am I holding up, Sean? How many, can you count?
and then Shawn's like, and then Shawn walks up in the Hall of Fame. Well, here I was thinking I was about in for the best night of my life, and then a damn roast broke out up here. Thanks.
Sean's crooked eye asks,
Isn't that Mr. Frenchie? Ooh, Mr. Frenchie.
Oh God! Just imagine if Shawn was in the audience for a Jeff Dunham special.
Oh, God.
And Peanut going like, so we were in a place in San Antonio where there was one guy with a beard and bald and a cowboy hat, and he was facing that way.
and he had an eye going that way, and an
And
eye
he
going
had
that way.
What if someone here has a lazy eye? I'll confuse him. Here I am.
Uh-huh. It's not his fault Kane kicked him in the head.
It's not. Shit happens, and yeah.
It's wrestling. It's all bullshit.
It's wrestling.
It's bad for you.
And it's bad for you. So,
Well,
anyway, we forgot about one other surprise in AEW. Soraya.
Yeah?
Paige.
yeah.
Amazing
Who's not
reaction.
even cleared yet.
Amazing.
Nobody
If she'll ever be
predicted
cleared.
it. No.
But the fact is that
She's not cleared.
Not clear.
and the women in the ring did what?
Ran away.
Ran away from her.
Yes.
You're running away
Ran
from a cripple. Holy crip, she's a crapple.
And also, I don't know if you ever saw the memes about her record: 0 in matches, 0 in tag team, 1 in trio.
Oh man. Hey Paige, I need to get a paint job done. Can you help out?
Knowing Tony Khan,
Well, Paige,
knowing the lead fucking mark, he's gonna get fucking he's gonna get Manox back just to get a chip pop out of
you
him.
took the heat from me. I was just a... Damn it, Ricky.
Thinking.
Hey, so, if you know, you know.
Tony Khan brought the fucking Luigi Pizza guy on the TV. And you makes you think he's gonna bring Manox in. There's a high fucking chance.
Unfortunately it is.
He's gonna get a cheap pop. That's about it.
Just don't get all rated R like your boy Xavier
Woods.
That one is also sexual.
Yes, it was.
Knowing Tony
The
Khan.
fact they fucking brought that up.
Khan,
Wow.
Look, knowing Tony Khan, knowing how his fucking mind works, he's gonna have Sarai in the ring, Maddox out of nowhere just interrupts, and then we gotta get Dan Hounds, he's gonna go making all the fucking jokes.
Oh, God. I am Denhausen, and I am going to have sex with you because I am evil.
I am evil.
Oh yeah, I am evil. Oh yes.
Oh, God.
I'll take my royalty check around now, Tony Khan, please.
I even popped myself on that one.
Aha.
That is also sexual.
AEW champion, ladies champion, walks up to Saraya. Look at my belt. Isn't it cool? Do you have any cream we can put on there to maybe shine it up a little bit? Jergens lotion? I don't know, something like that.
I'll take that hand.
And here I thought with the Kevin Dunn teeth jokes were getting long in the tooth. We're going balls deep on Paige sex jokes.
Ball deep in your love. Ball deep in your love.
Anyway. Well, I can't think of a better way to wrap this up than that.
They're just jokes, people, okay? It's just jokes, all right? It's okay. Comedy! That's why we're here. Comedy!
Yep.
It's funny because it's true.
And that's the bottom line.
Anyway, so I say that's a good place to wrap up with. I say that's a good place to wrap it all up.
Stick it. That's a good place to stick it.
Good place to.
You know where to stick it.
Why do you know everyone knows where to stick it? Suppose you don't know. Suppose you're a new guy. You have no idea where to stick it.
So you know how to stick it. Big Wolf, want to fight about it?
He's your fucking view.
Put him up.
Do.
Anyway, that's it for this week's episode.
Yeah,
and the end of September.
Yes, the end of September.
Wake me up when September ends.
Fuck Green Day.
Do you remember?
I remember the glory.
You remember? I remember.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
I remember.
Maybe you'll get yourself some of these Milano cookies, and maybe this whole thing just disappears.
Here. Brad Maddox, we'd remember.
We'll always remember.
Always.
So, a couple of things.
Our good friend on Paul Laporte is trying to fight with me on Twitter about the Julia Hart thing. And he says, I'd be willing to bet a whole pile of shiny nickels they're not going to let Julia Hart take a fucking nasty plunge on Rampage for no reason. I don't even know where I said that they had her do it, but I replied to Paul with, I don't know, Paul, when they're putting the top drawing attraction like Sting on the B show portion of a major show, mind you, the lowest rated show on Weekly Wrestling, I'll question anything.
Uh-huh. And he's your friend, not ours.
I know. He must be
fucking know this guy, and I don't care. He must be. I don't fucking know this guy, and I don't care.
So, schedule for the month of October.
Moving on, yes.
Well, real quick.
5 shows.
Well, real quick.
That too.
Brain function. Then again, never.
English motherfucker.
If you're gonna do it, Ricky, do it right. English motherfucker, do you speak it?
Speak it. Do they speak English and what?
What ain't no country I never heard of?
Does he look like a bitch?
A bitch. What? Boom!
This is a tasty burger.
But real quick note. So I brought up to these guys earlier that I am leaving for vacation tomorrow, but it's only a 4-day vacation. It's not a whole
thank
week,
God.
so we'll be back next week.
Wow. Hallelujah. Nice.
That was out of nowhere. Holy shit.
That was great.
The last time
That was out of
Nina-
nowhere. Perfectly done.
The last time Nina
Love
went
that.
on vacation, the biggest news in wrestling history
Yeah,
ever happened.
that means some big shit's gonna go down this week, folks.
Oh,
Since
yeah.
when Levi's away, that's when the big shit happened.
Don't be shocked. People.
Yeah, I
Stay
highly doubt
tuned.
it. I highly doubt it, but that's beside the point.
That's what we said about Vince. And look what happened.
But the schedule for October, so we return next Saturday for the 25th anniversary review of Bad Blood in Your House 97, first ever Hell in a Cell, and Kane's debut, pretty much. Then the week after that, because it was Kane's debut, we're going to do the week after that the top 10 Kane matches, which that list is tough because, you know, you have to go deep on some of these matches, and luckily I did go there. The week after that, 15th anniversary review of one of TNA's biggest shows they ever did, Bound for Glory 2007. One of the best Ultimate X matches of all time. Joe versus Christian tearing the house down. And a dream match, Kurt versus Sting.
Awesome Kong's tits.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
And the first ever Knockouts
Wow.
Championship. So, a lot of stuff on that night. And then the week after that, it's not a top 10 list, but we are discussing wrestling's most evil characters. Because I am Denhausen, and I better be talked about, or otherwise I curse you.
Oh, you're cursed.
And then to conclude October on Halloween weekend, it wouldn't be Halloween without talking about Halloween Havoc, and we're talking 1997 with Age in the Cage! And Ray versus Eddie and DDP versus Savage, but Age in the Cage!
Jericho nearly dying.
Yes. And then for November, AAA When Worlds Collide, top 10 worst Survivor Series matches, NWA Starrcade 86, and ECW November to Remember 97, and then the final 3 episodes of the year, Starrcade 97, top 10 best celebrity involvements in wrestling, and Steve Austin's WCW run.
What?
What?
What? One beer?
I need a beer, 2
What?
beers, 3
What?
beers,
What?
a hot dog,
What?
a shot of Jack Daniels,
What?
Eh?
Pop-Tarts.
Okay.
Eh?
Who?
What is it that you want? It's annoying, isn't it? It is annoying. I came here to give you a breathalyzer, Steve. Can you even say the alphabet backwards? Well, I could whip your ass backwards.
EYXWV.
Alphabet backwards.
UTSRQP. Yeah.
ASSHOLE.
EONMLKJIHGFEDCBA. Knock out the Jericho. But anyways, before we wrap up, it is plug time, and we'll start with James.
You can find me on my YouTube at We Are Pro Wrestling, where this coming week I'm going to be finishing my Sting in WCW retrospective with October 96 through March 2001. The era of the Crow, where he was the most over wrestler without saying a word or doing one match, and then the after stuff, but still successful stuff. And then for October, I've got a couple of Halloween Havocs, I've got a No Mercy, and I've got a topic about a very popular wrestling show from the past. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe and follow me on Twitter at WAPW_wrestling.
Ricky.
You can follow me on my Instagram, Raman Medugard. You can follow me on my Twitter, Hermaster18. You can subscribe to me on my YouTube channel, which it's getting closer to the Halloween season. I am going to do my 31 Days of Horror series. I have recorded already 7 videos down. I need the other 24 videos to go, so it's a huge undertaking. So stay tuned for that series. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Been watching a lot of horror movies, a lot of Rankamas, so stay tuned for that. You can catch me doing here both the Shadow Kvlt and the Horseman podcast on Levi's channel, and I'll leave the rest to Levi.
Scott.
All right, find me on my YouTube channel. It's Mr. Scott doing reaction videos. New reaction goes up tomorrow of Ninja Sex Party song It's Bedtime. Great video. Next Sunday, October 2nd, my top 10 horror-themed metal songs, where I implore of Horror Master and Thrash Maniac 99, along with our friends Reanimate Her and Lament Butterfly, to do their own top 10 lists. I'd like to see that happen. So that's going out October 2nd. Find me on Twitch doing weekly stream themes where we find a year and we pick 5 metal albums from that year to talk about. I jam out, had a lot of fun doing that this past week. Also find me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok under It's Mr. Scott. And you also find my TeePublic merch store under at tpublic.com/user/It's Mr. Scott. And yeah, find me on the internet and do all that fun stuff there. And you'll find me and Walter someplace as well.
You can find us on the Necrocasticon, where you and me and our good friend Token Tom Clark, and our good friend Sergeant Fury Dan Roberts, and our good friend Skip Novak, and nowadays my daughter Cece, talk about the latest and greatest in horror and metal. Although we really don't.
Although, yeah, we haven't really talked much about that stuff lately. We talk more about Marvel and Andor and shit like that lately. So it's become horror, metal, and haven't watched it yet. Gonna watch that tomorrow. So, but yeah, we talked a little bit about horror and metal. We've been doing the more stuff more recently. So whatever. We've been doing this almost 8 years. So give us a break.
All right, and then finally, you can subscribe to me on YouTube, ThrashManiac99. Getting closer to the 3,500 mark, especially after I posted that rant video on Wednesday about metal elitists and gatekeepers needing to fuck off.
Good video. Good video.
So that video's almost gotten 400 views since then, which is
nice.
Like, okay. Yeah. And I've only run across one bad comment so far, which I'm honestly surprised. I thought there'd be a lot more.
One troll.
Yeah, I'm surprised. After the 2 review, I'm like, damn, how could you go further over than that?
But yeah, so that happened. Earlier today, I posted my review of the new Razor album, their first one in 25 years, and it's really
that was
fucking
the one that's
good.
25. Okay. I thought it was Autopsy, but you said that was 8 years. Okay, that was my fault there.
Yeah. Yeah, the new Razor album's really good. Though, I will say, the drums are a hair loud, but holy shit, does it thrash your face off. And it sounds like a pissed off Lemmy just singing about killing people.
Nice.
So it's fucking awesome. Of course, other stuff coming up. There's actually a very special video that I worked on earlier in the week. I had it set to unlisted. Only a few people have seen it already. Ricky has seen it, and he about pissed himself. If you want to know what it is, stay tuned to 10 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. It will be posted for everybody else to see. Spoiler alert, I still laugh my ass off watching it to this day. So there's that. I also, earlier today, after I got my hair cut, voice crack from hell, ladies and gentlemen, made my latest CD collection update, because when I'm going on vacation tomorrow, going to Tennessee, record shops galore, I'm probably going to go absolutely insane, because why shouldn't I? Huh?
More insane?
More insane?
Yeah, I'm going more insane. I'm going psychotic.
Going batshit?
I'm going batshit crazy! So, that's going to be a fun trip. And then, of course, on the way back home, Wednesday, I see Megadeth live. And then Thursday, I'll post my live show review of that show. And then back to normal videos after that. Of course, I also posted my Suffocation album ranking, which that was an interesting one to do. As far as the next one, yeah, it's Blood Red Throne on October 13th. It's a shame it's not on a Friday, though. Otherwise, it would have been perfect.
Yeah, I know. Really nice we gotta wait till next year for the next Friday the 13th. I checked.
Oh, man. That's going to be fun. But, yeah, that's that. Of course, you can follow me on Instagram at thrashmaniac_YT, where closer and closer to 750 and then the 800, and I had just hit 700 like 3 weeks ago. But hey, shit happens. And then,
Mhm.
wow. And then, of course, last but certainly not least, follow and or subscribe to me on Twitch at ThrashManiac99, where I'm currently 8 followers away from 400. If I get to the 400 mark, I am definitely going to plan something special. Don't know what, but you'll see when the time comes. But anyways,
You
thank
one chip challenge.
Fuck that.
Oh,
Fuck that.
Guys,
I'd rather die.
Breaking news: Teddy Long has gone on a blocking binge on Twitter. Check to see if you're safe.
I don't follow him. I'm okay.
I'm
I mean,
not on Twitter that much anyways. It's whatever. For 400 subs, Levi will wear a banana suit. Or sit on a banana? What? Zach?
400, 400, he'll rub his nipples.
I could do that right now, for fuck's sake.
Oh,
Don't.
God, no.
Don't do it.
No, no.
Terms of service.
No, I just don't want to fucking see it.
Scott's eyes immediately got big.
Yeah. Good luck with the nipple rubbing.
I'll put the reflection of the screen on my glasses here. You will not play with your nipples. You will not play with your nipples.
Okay, robot.
If South Park did it, I don't need you to see it. We're friends, but I don't need you to see it in that way.
No, I don't even want to see myself do that.
I mean, if it was Scarter Bordeaux, that's a different story, though.
Well, yeah.
I would just let
What
her
about-
rub them instead.
We just need carrot cake rubbing.
Mm.
Mm.
How about
All right,
Scarlet
anyway.
and Carrot? How about Scarlet and Carrot Cake in a strap-on match?
Aha, yes.
Because that one is also sexual.
Oh boy.
I was going to keep my face like this. That reflection looks pretty cool.
Carrot cake and scarlet.
Well, actually, that
I'm
reflection
not
is
grabbing the
caused
glasses.
by surfaces that are clear.
Hey, nerd.
Nerds! You fucking Mark.
I am Danhausen, and I curse you for calling me a fucking mark.
Curse me, motherfucker, curse me! Do it! Do it!
Danhausen's
Anyway.
Anyways, we'll see you next
everybody.
week.
Anyway. Say goodbye.
Jackass.
Say goodnight, Levi.